These past 2 weeks, we had a wonderful time here. Professor keep lectures on the universities. His coming was supported by the US Embassy. The building of the Heliodon was supported by Gicol company. And of course, Architects Association was involved in all of it. And our association make collaboration with all these parties. So all together we were very happy to build this Heliodon, which I think is the first of this kind in the Europe.
I would like to say that I'm very happy to be in Macedonia again. This is my second visit and I love traveling. I love seeing beautiful countries like Macedonia and Skopje, but I also like to do what I can to help prevent the worst of global warming. And so I'm happy to give lectures and workshops and, as we have just done, build a Heliodon, because it's such a powerful tool for helping to create solar responsive architecture, and that can reduce the energy consumption of buildings by a very large amount. And to be able to make use of solar design, it really helps to have a tool like the Heliodon, which makes it relatively simple. It simulates the way the sun and the building relate to each other, which is really quite complex, but with the simulation of the Heliodon that makes the simulation similar to what you would see outdoors every day, I'm hoping that architects and future architecture students will be able to take advantage of all these strategies.
As far as I know, this is the first one of this type that I've invented that is in Europe. And I'm very pleased because it's a really good type for students to understand and to test their models of their projects, and for professional architects to come and bring a model of a building they've proposed and testing it. This is really the ideal one. It's not the most common because it takes up a lot of space, so I'm very pleased that we found the space and the support for building it.
Past 2 weeks we work on it, but also you have lectures on American college here, also at Architecture Biennale, then in Architecture and Construction State University, other state university in Tetovo, then in Pristina on university, having a workshop with students from all these universities making Heliodon. I think you are satisfied with all this program, and we make one more small step to improve sustainability.
I'm delighted with the large number of students and faculty and general public that I was able to reach. For my purpose in trying to change the way buildings get built, the more people I talk to, the more effective my knowledge transmission is. So whenever I have a larger audience, I'm very pleased. And I've had several very large audiences, and so I'm very happy. I also want to say that I am now an honorary member of the Energy Efficiency Association, and that pleases me very much to be part of helping Macedonia, not just by talking, but also by being an honorary member of the organization.
Thank you. That we are also very happy to have you here, and I think now we have more things to do in the future. We have more obligations to work on what we started, the Heliodon, to promote it maybe regionally.
Well, there's several things that are in the works. At the universities, there was always interest in my coming back, and not just giving a single lecture, but maybe giving workshops, giving maybe even some classes so I can go into more detail rather than just an overview. And also now that we have the Heliodon, we want to make good use of it. So I hope I do get to come back. There seems to be a lot of interest in that. And we will certainly try to utilize the Heliodon, and part of that effort we will make next year. One of the ideas is to bring faculty from the whole region. Many faculty of architecture, like myself when I went to school, didn't learn anything about energy conservation, designing with the sun, and so it would be very worthwhile for us to be able to also reach the faculty, because they then are able to reach all these students. It has a very strong multiplying effect. So that's one of the things I would like to work on next time I come, is to reach faculty from around the region, from other neighboring countries, and from the schools that certainly are in Macedonia.
Generally, I think here there is a lot of more work to do, because I understood, okay, maybe the young students, they want to receive knowledge, and they are maybe aware of problem of global warming. But I think maybe also professors from the universities should be more involved in it. I think they are not so much supporting the idea.
As I said, that many of them didn't get the exposure when they went to school, and maybe didn't have the opportunity to learn more about it. Also, solar responsive design today is equated with photovoltaics, generating electricity from the sun, which is expensive. It's a good idea, but it's expensive. One of my goals is to teach and remind people of all those solar responsive design strategies that cost nothing or just very little, that have been forgotten, that were already used in ancient Greece and in ancient China, and we've forgotten about them. So there is much knowledge we have that needs to be rediscovered and promoted, that is not being utilized now. It's kind of a tragedy in a sense, that things that are very effective in reducing energy conservation and don't cost anything are not utilized. Let me just finish this so I can not forget my train of thought. Orientation turns out to be immensely important, and yet it is so little used. You can save sometimes up to half the energy consumption of a building at no cost just by orienting the building correctly. It's used very little. Very frustrating for me.
Maybe we can organize a conference, so also other architects and professors from the region and Macedonia can come together on one conference and to discuss about this.
That would be a good way to bring faculty here, rather than just inviting them individually, is have some kind of formal structure that they can then use to get funding for traveling, for them to get permission to come maybe during work time. Attending conferences is a normal part of academia, so that would be a very good idea.
So actually that's our task or further step now. On that conference we can discuss about it, and of course we have now Heliodon, we can present it, how it works.
That could be an essential feature of the conference. Besides all the members giving their presentations, we can also expose them to the Heliodon, and hopefully they will be convinced of the value of all of these solar responsive design strategies that have been forgotten, largely because they're free, and anything that's free, there's nobody to promote, there's no money to be made. So we need to have some way of getting the message to the people who have an ability to make a difference. And I think that a conference would be a good way to accomplish that.
Okay, so I hope to see you very soon back here on that conference as a main speaker, of course. But I think also that each day we are getting more and more members in our association, and also more and more people are approaching us, and more people are aware actually of the problem we have with global warming. So I'm very optimistic that this conference will be successful.
And just to express another optimistic thought, the students we worked with were just wonderful and very interested, which is what I have found in my own teaching experience, that students are ready to learn, they're eager to learn. We have to provide them with the knowledge and the tools, and I think they're ready to take control and make the world a better place.
I'm quite sure. So I think that next year, on same occasion as this one, we will have many other things to say, and many successful lectures, and maybe even a new Heliodon in the region. Let we hope so. We can improve also this one to be much better, and each day to spread the idea of how important actually is the sun.
Yes, solar responsive design is essential for sustainability. This is my belief, and I have lots of evidence for it, but it's not widely shared. And I think it's not shared because of the ignorance of all of these solar strategies that are available, most of them for free.
You have a good partner here in this part of the world, our association, and of course you are now part of it, and all together we will try to change things a little bit.
And I'm ready to come back. I will
Great.
leave time on my calendar for my next visit to Macedonia.